Fantastic.
And I know from a bit of inside information, Sandra's the same.
She is as crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sitting in the same living room as Cor, so that's the secret.
Sandra, why don't you go next, seeing as you were in the same living room?
Well, I saw your
Mute yourself, Vishali. Otherwise, it's hell.
I saw your TEDx, Vaishali, and I was very impressed about what you had to say there. It was, and I just became curious to dive into this webinar. Cannot explain, but it was interesting. So I thought, well, let's just join. And I'm curious, yes.
And you wanted to come the first time already, and you couldn't. So, and I said, well, we don't know, but if we do it again, and yes, we're doing it again.
Exactly.
But in the other format, we won't do the same thing as we did the other day. It's different and more content shaped, less journey of Vaishali, a bit of journey of Vaishali.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Sandra. Apologies, the sound isn't great. So Llewellyn, I'm from Wales in the UK, and I would love to learn a little more about what it takes to be a TED speaker. Fantastic. We've just had Sandra, and then Lee's from London, have already done some public speaking and see TEDx as a measure of my credibility. Fantastic. Falguni from London, I'm hoping to learn how to plan a talk. Okay, great. Qatar from Ottawa, Canada, here to get inspired into doing a TED talk to spread my message. Very happy to be here because I know with Vishali and Nianka, it will be packed with value. Oh, great. Thank you so much. Awesome. So let's get started. So I'd like to start with some introductions. My name, as you know, is Vishali, and I'm a TEDx speaker. I did my TEDx talk in December 2019, and the amazing Nianka was my coach, and Qatar was one of my wing women who just, whenever I had this conversation of imposter syndrome, she really beat it out of me, and she was phenomenal. So I really, I worked with two amazing people. Also, I've been working as a transformation coach for the last 4 or 5 years. I've coached many people in breaking through their limitations in either public speaking or communications, accomplishing goals. And I have a 17-year career in marketing, where I've worked with business development professionals and leadership teams to, you know, I guess work through their media interviews and do some industry talks, etc. So it's amazing to have been able to work with Nianka to then fulfill on my dream to do the same and get my message out there. So thank you for listening. I'm going to hand over to Nianka now.
So here I am, Nienke from the Netherlands, and well, where to start? I had the first 25 career in healthcare, and then I switched over after I did my MBA to becoming a business owner. And in 2011, I really found that my real passion is transferring knowledge, particularly in the field of public speaking. So I traveled the world. I always say 100,000 miles of knowledge traveled all together to get the best of the best. And I developed my own professional speaker system, wrote a book about it, and work globally with speakers or people who want to just share their voice. So when I was asked in 2012 to declare a stand, what I'm standing for in the world, I said, I provide the world with a voice. And whether I do that by public speaking myself, training, or by writing, because I wrote several books, it's all the same, because I love to work with people to get the voice out. And I coached, I lost count, but I think over 180 TEDx speakers globally. And what I will do today is guide you through the magic and do some coaching on the spot to have your first mini draft of your TED Talk ready by today. So stay tuned. We'll get there. And we get you to the point where you can find that during this call. So that's what we're up to. So here we are. Are you all ready to rock? You can just say, yay, yay, good. I love the energy. Wonderful. And I think it's a lovely small group. So I might be able to do some individual work a bit more than when I was just having a very large group. So there we go. Vaishali, over to you. You're muted.
Thank you. Thanks, Ianka. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, we wanted to start off by asking you straight away, what stops an idea worth spreading? So I think maybe we can have you shout it out because we don't have such a big group. The last one, we had 35 people. So we had to really manage that. Today we have a nice intimate group. So feel free to take yourself off mute and share what you think stops an idea worth spreading.
Fear.
Fear, okay.
Yeah, when you're insecure about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Not knowing if the idea is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And Lee, what did you want to say?
Not being seen as an authority. Fear of being laughed down, or
so not good enough, perhaps. Not really sure.
you could put it that way, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, this is little one. It's I stop it. Me.
Mm-hmm. And why is it in you stopping?
What's in me? Or
Mm-hmm.
I was jumping in to say fear, but it's uncertainty. Yeah, you know, I didn't even really think I should be here just now. It's like that. It's like uncomfortable with being uncomfortable about even the thought.
Yeah.
Fulfill, you know, could I really do that like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I recognize them all. Cor, anything what's stopping you?
Zijn geluid.
Oh, sorry. No, nothing is stopping me.
Okay. But you just haven't done it yet.
Yes, it's a matter of time.
Okay. So time is stopping you. Okay.
Yes, time is stopping me.
Okay, got you. Yeah, wonderful.
For me, it's the words worth spreading. It's like, what if I think it's worth spreading, but then whoever decides for TEDx decides it's not worth spreading. It's that fear of rejection.
Oh, well, then you need a speaker coach. You know, I can tell you a little thing. I was with a TEDx event in Zwolle in the Netherlands, and it was an audience of 1,000, so that's considered a large event. And I was in the speaker coach team, and they asked me, well, we have a wonderful speaker and we really want him on, but the theme of the TEDx event is active climate city. And he's all about mindfulness. How on earth do we really weave that together? And I came up with the idea of inner climate, and he was on. So don't worry, we'll make a fit.
Thank you, Nika.
Vaishali.
Thank you. Sorry, just dealing with admitting a few people who saw the message a bit late about the change of the link. So just bear with me.
Okay.
Okay, let's get back to this. Okay, so thank you all for sharing and welcome Eugenia. We're just starting, we've done the introductions and we're just getting into the content. We're looking at what stops an idea worth spreading. So what we put down, as someone said, fear, uncertainty, so unsure of your idea. This is a good one. Nienke, could you explain this one?
Yeah.
ID, not idea.
Yeah, well, in the Netherlands, if you ask them to say an idea worth spreading, a lot of times they will say an ID worth spreading. And that's not what's wanted, because it's not your identity is what is worth spreading, it's your idea worth spreading. So people who want to be there just for their own ego and looking good, well, it's better not to do a talk, TED talk. Do another talk, but not a TED talk. So it's not about your ID worth spreading, but your idea worth spreading. And welcome, Barbara, as well. I will get to your email. We'll be all right. Yeah.
Thank you, Nienke. Welcome, Barbara and Eugenia. Like I said, we've just started. We just did introductions, and we're heading into the content now. So, what stops an idea worth spreading? We also have procrastination. So maybe not now, maybe later. And I remember when I did my TEDx talk, when I reached out to a lady called Karina, and I said, "Hi, Karina, could you tell me how you select speakers?" And she said, "Sure, send me your idea." And I sent her my idea, and she said, "Okay, so tell me a bit more about your experience." So I told her about my experience, and she said, "Okay, so I'm going to put you in touch with Taya, who's the organizer in another city." And my initial thought was, no, I don't want to do a talk right now. I just want to know what I have to do to become a speaker. I'll do it next year, which was completely me procrastinating, because I really wanted to do one there and then, but I was putting it off to next year, and then trying to go into the whole analysis of what do I have to do to become one. And what actually happened was I found out during the process of how to become one. So, you know, watch out for procrastination. I can't do it myself. Nienke, I just can't do it myself.
Yeah, and then you get the coach.
You can't do it yourself. You're not meant to do it yourself. If you were, there'd be so many people doing it themselves. So that usually stops people getting taking that first step forward. You're not meant to do it yourself. I don't have a great idea, Nienke. I just don't have a great idea. What can I talk about? You know, that's another one.
Yeah, and then just we will dive in during this session to make any idea a great idea. So don't worry.
Yeah,
we can make everything spreading.
We're going to do an exercise next, which will get you out the way, and you'll discover that your idea is already inside of you. And then Nienke's just going to really work with you to you know, build that out, which is really exciting. What else? I have to do it. Some people don't want to do a TEDx talk, but they have to do it. And because they have to do it, sometimes they block their own creativity and thinking about what they could actually talk about. And it becomes something that's quite a logical exercise. Right, Nienke, anything else to add on that?
Yeah. Well, sometimes I see the really driven, I have to do a TED talk. They get so pushy, they push every organizer away because they're so convinced their idea is so awesome, usually because they're just been through a process, or they had a wonderful invention or whatever, and they just want to use the TED stage or TEDx stage to get out, and they get pushy, and then it's not an idea worth spreading any longer. It's a pushy thing. So it's the other side. It's the flip side of procrastination.
Great. I don't know how. I don't know how to do one. I don't know how to get started. And that usually stops an idea worth spreading, because then you just don't take any actions and you don't do anything. So if you don't know how, it's great that you're here today, because you'll find out how. And finally, I want to do it so badly, Bianca. I really want to do it. What are you going to say to me?
Well, I will just take you through the process and just digest the whole idea out of you, just get it out of you, and make it to a format that sticks to TED, because it's not always that your idea is already ready for a TEDx stage. You have to really make it into a fitting procedure. And if you know that the letters of TED is technology, entertainment, design, and the most people come to me don't have anything in the area of technology, entertainment, or design, they have a personal story. And yes, you have personal stories there, but they're really searching for the 3 letters of TED. So you can really feel you want to do it so badly, but you have to make it fit. Really necessary.
Great, thank you, Bianca. So let's now look at what stops you. So we've had a general conversation about what stops an idea worth spreading. And you've said a little bit in your introductions about, you know, what you're looking for, etc. But what stops you from actually, you know, getting your idea out there or doing a TED Talk? So let's look at, what's the first question? How would you actually like it to be? So how would you like your talk or yourself to be? And maybe you have someone that inspires you, or there's, you know, what does that look like? So I'm just going to give you a minute to kind of think about that, and then maybe you'd like to come off mute and share that, or you could put it in the chat box. But as you're all looking to be TEDx speakers, I think you could take yourself off mute and share what it is that you'd like it to be like, or what inspires you, or who inspires you. So I'll just give you about a minute to do that. And we're just going to admit Sejal as well.
Can you just envision the stage? How would you love to be there on that red dot, and just envision? And maybe you have already some great TED Talks you love, or someone who is a great speaker that inspires you. Just take it all to your mind. Make a little note, and then we'll just talk about it.
Can I share with you?
Sure.
Okay, so so the very first TED speaker that I really, because I've been a bit of a would you say fanatic, or I was a bit of an addict to TED Talk for a while, where that I was addicted. It was like, that was my entertainment for a very long time. Then I sort of stopped for a while. But the person that, besides Vishali, by the way, Vishali, just to say, so it was a lady called Diana Nayad. I'm not sure if that's the right way to say her name, but she was on that red dot, and she took me to the place where she had been when she was swimming this dream. She was swimming this, I think, very dangerous sea, sort of strait somewhere, Mexico or somewhere like that. And she just took me into her heart, and I was blown away. I was moved to tears. I was laughing because she was funny. And I just, yeah, it was the guts that she shared. And I was so inspired because she, you know, I think she did it in her late, or say 60s, where she tried to do this swim when she was younger and hadn't achieved it. But it was her story about that resilience and endurance. And I was, wow, I just thought, wow, I just would love to do that.
Well, thank you for sharing. And there's, who else would like to share a bit?
I'd like to share two little things. One, the person that inspires me, I think, the most as a speaker would be Tony Robbins, because when you're in his presence and you listen to him, for me, I leave different. I leave somehow with something new. Yeah, I leave, I'm still me, but I'm somehow a different person. I've been given something where my life will never be the same after that talk or after that presentation. And that's what I want to achieve. And also the other thing that I really loved was, I wish I could remember the guy's name, but it was a guy who gave a talk about fear, and he studied really courageous people. And he said he wanted to give the talk about courageous people. He studied these people because he was afraid. He was so afraid of everything that he wanted to find out, like, what is it about these people that gives them such courage? And he spoke about some cases, like the girl in Iran who, you know, inspired loads of people, and, you know, she got shot on the bus and recovered and all that stuff. He spoke about a guy who saved a guy's life in a New York subway. And just like, I think there were 3 or 4 stories, but what I remember is, yeah, that was another talk where afterwards I was kind of like, it's one of those things where it's almost like you don't feel like applauding really, because you're just kind of glued to your seat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it hits you right in the heart. And that's what I love. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris Anderson says it needs to connect the brains and connects the hearts. And then you have TED Talk. And Chris Anderson, by the way, is the creator of TED. So, well, he did the job then. Yeah. And the techniques Anthony Robbins is using, there are very good techniques to get you glued.
Yeah, I remember he said he stood, because I did his leadership program as well, and he was saying how he would stand in specific areas of the stage. You know, one area was when he talked about the past, one area was to make a point, and I forget what the other one was, but yeah.
Present is in the middle, and you have your speak at front. You deliver with check-ins and more back at the stage. You have your story space. There's a lot of NLP in there. Nothing wrong with that, but be aware of manipulation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a heart person, you know, which is why I didn't go the NLP route. So
yeah, no, it's fine. Always fine. But I'm just talking about NLP. And public speaking. Nothing wrong with NLP, but just be aware. You can manipulate a lot in public speaking there. So I know all about it. Yeah. So just one more.
Thank you, Barbara.
Yeah, Sandra.
Well, I really can't make a choice, because I saw one with a man who came with his horse and told about his problems in life and how he overcame it. And when he was talking about his deep emotions, the horse really came with his head, you say head horse, towards him. It was very emotional. But the one while I was waiting and thinking about which one I liked most, what I remember was a man who became a woman. So that's transgender, right? And he explained he was CEO of a big company and then became a woman. And so then finally understood how it was to be a woman in this world. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, who can have this experience? To have both experience as a man in this world and as a woman. It was fantastic. And he spoke about it, so it was very emotional. I think it's a very important topic in this world.
Yeah, yes,
the position of women, and it was the position of women seen through the eyes of the person who first was a man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wonderful. Yeah, I think it's great to have those connections, and I can share my favorite one. It takes 2 minutes, but it's about how to dry your hands in a public toilet with only 1 sheet of paper. And every time I'm in a public toilet, I think about him. If I take 2, I shouldn't do that, because how many trees? It's not necessary. You can really do it with 1. And in 1 minute, he shares the first thing, and then he just repeats it in another minute. So that's an idea worth spreading. And of course, he shared how many trees we would spare if we only could do with 1 paper towel. But that's a TED Talk too. You don't have the 18 minutes of awesome stories with deep whatever. this is 2 minutes and I can't get them out of my head every time I use a paper towel. So it's an idea worth spreading. So be aware. It can be huge and it can be very, very small. Yeah. Another one is how to compare a battery and a pack of yogurt. And this one was all about burnout. Because if you empty a pack of yogurt, you will see wrinkles and you get the thing out. But the battery from the outside, you can't see. So you better take care about yourself and make sure you reload your battery on time before everybody else will notice that you tumble down anyhow because your battery is empty. So you better be a pack of yogurt instead of battery. Yeah, and she emptied a pack of yogurt on stage. So this is empty, and she refilled it. So it just went on and on, just 5 minutes. Very powerful stuff. Simple. The more simple, the better.
Great, thank you, Nienke. Is there anybody else? Just one more. Like, who inspires you, or how would you like it to be on that TEDx stage? I'd like to hear from one of the guys. Not being sexist or anything, but Cora or Mark. Lee or Mark. Yeah, come on, guys.
You're on that red dot, and how does it look like?
We can open it up to another lady. It's okay. Go for it, Falguni.
Can I share?
Yeah.
Yep. Can I share? Basically, I'm an education coach and I work with a lot of children from different age groups. So the youngest might be a 7-year-old all the way to a teenager. And the most common question I get asked by parents is, why can I not influence my child? Why do they not listen to me? And then I say to them, when was the last time you taught them anything? Yeah, you taught them how to eat, you taught them how to, walk, the basic necessity, but what did you do to actually influence them? Everybody around them is influencing your child apart from you. So now they're not listening to you. So for me, if I'm standing on that red dot, it would be teaching or coaching parents, I think, approaching them to how to become a better influencer in their child's life. And I think that's important, whether you're a parent, aunt, uncle, whoever, if you've got a young person in your life, how to influence them. I think that's probably what I'd like to kind of approach.
There is also TEDx education. Did you know that?
I did, yes, I have looked at that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really nice to, and you have TEDx medical, so it's you have more themes around, but it's awesome to see in TEDx education what really is in this particular area.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very interesting to change the way we teach. We want to teach children, but I think it's better to encourage kids to teach themselves.
Yeah.
To find their own way. For me, what's a very important topic is that people discover who they really are. Because if you know who you really are, the world is so huge. And people make the world a very small place. And that is a pity. So I think that's a very, very interesting topic, is how to discover yourself. And it looks so easy and it sounds so easy, but it's for majority of people, it's really a tough thing to do.
And Cor, if you are on that red dot with your awesome shoes, he has most red shoes. No, don't
Black
do red shoes. No, colored shoes. Your colored shoes. But don't do red shoes on a red dot, because you will be sort of floating around on camera.
Okay.
You don't see shoes any longer. So not red on red. So but with your awesome shoes, how would you be on that talk? Because I know you've been on many stages, but a TEDx stage is different. So if you envision that, how would it look and feel for you?
Well, if I talk about the topic that really, really, it's touching me, that feels really comfortable, because I think the talk needs to be you, and that is so important. It's not like a monkey thing, but if you are the story, then it feels comfortable. And the audience is part of you. You and the audience are one big circle, and you're all part of the same family, and you are all on the same page. And then you don't need to be anxious, because I think the people in the room, they will lift you even further. So.
For sure.
I think it's important that the topic don't try to find a topic, but the topic should be you. You should be
integrated.
It should be integrated, and then it's very pure. And what I said in the chat room is authentic people. That is what inspires me.
Yeah.
Real authentic people. People who are not shy to be authentic, and it should not be a choice. I think if you're really authentic, it's not a choice. You have no choice.
No, you are.
You are.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Great, thank you both Cora and Falguni. And Mark has put in the chat box that for him it would be alive and in flow. So guys, so all of you, now that you have something in your mind around what inspires you, how you'd like it to be, there's you on that red dot, and there you are being alive and in flow, authentic, really connected to what you're talking about, you've got that presence, being with that now, what actually stops you from taking those steps to get there? So I'd love to hear from a few of you, what is actually stopping you? We talked about it generally before, but right now, there you are. You probably wake up, or Barbara, you probably go to sleep imagining yourself on that stage, right? And then what happens when you wake up in the morning? Like, what is it that actually stops you from taking those actions, or what stops you? I just want
to make it into reality. That's the whole point.
For me, if I'm honest, there's nothing the only thing was I had this idea about telling my story, and then literally 3 days later, Shelley, I saw your post and I was like, okay, well, this is obviously the universe telling me what to do first. So, I'm just really excited about it. I think the only thing for me would be, just the how. That's it. I have the why. It's very strong. I have the topic. I'm not quite sure about which angle of it, but it's just literally like just getting good advice on the good coaching on how.
Okay.
Just for fact checking, do you know, all of you know how to get on a TEDx stage? Because that's a question we get a lot. Shall we just share briefly the 3 ways to get on a TEDx stage? Very, very simple. You get asked. Yay. Then you don't have any trouble because they want you badly. They know your topic. The only thing is just to get things done. They get the coaching and then you're on. So that's a simple way. Slightly less easy, but also very, very doable is you get referred by someone who really makes a difference. A lot of people get referred and they know some of the organizers, or they are in a certain area and they've been in the news or something. So it's easier to get there. But the majority needs to apply. And that's the whole thing. That's not a problem, but it's a pathway. So First, if you really feel that desire, for example, you, Barbara, and you have to look at the TED page to find an event. An event always has a theme. So you go to TEDx.com events, and then you'll see hundreds of events globally. So some of the organizers want speakers from close by, some of them want them globally, so whatever. And now we have the whole thing is online. So we'll just see. But then you have to apply, and usually you have to fill an application form with exactly what they asked for Shali. What's your topic? And you have to be very specific, and you need certain keywords organizers are looking for. We will do in a training what we'll offer later. We will guide you through the application form to know the keywords, to know exactly what's necessary to get you there. Then you have to make often a video and pitching your idea in 3 minutes. So, you know, if you can't explain simple, you don't know it well enough. So 3 minutes is challenging if you like to speak a lot. So how do you make that condensed? How do you make it succinct? And how do you make it attractive, standing out of the crowd for the organizers? Well, we'll teach you all about that later. So it's good to know that there are people are looking for the 3 letters. So make sure if you are even telling your personal story, it could be designing your life, then you under the D of TED. Just be creative in the whole thing. If you really have a method or a structure, or you learn to restructure your life, it can be a technique, then you're under the T of TED. Yeah. And if you're something really funny, you can be entertainment too. Be aware that they're always, because they have to for the mother organization, they will be tick boxing how much T, how much E, how much D is there in their event. So they can't have 15 personal stories. So be aware, they're always searching for the connection of the letters. So if you make it easy for them, you can make it happen. So, and then you sometimes have to go through a audition. I did many open mics or just auditions. If you're picked out of a large bunch, because it can be that they have over 100 people with application forms, and they can only have 12 on the stage. So there will be first selection. So if your application form and your video is good, then they might invite you to a open mic or a real audition. And then you have to do the whole thing what you did on video live. And then you need to be attractive, you need to be engaging, you need to be authentic. So if you have it all, then you have a good chance to be on that stage, and you have to match the theme. And I already gave a little nugget about it. You can make it a match, but make sure you have to make a fit. So that are the 3 ways just to get on a TED stage. And we will help you if you really like that on a further stage. Did I miss anything for Shali?
No, you didn't. But before we move on to the next person to talk about what stops them, there's a question for you. And the question is, do you foresee that in 6 months' time, they will still all TEDx talks will be online? So if so, will being a TEDx speaker still hold the same currency?
What I see, I'm with my team, I'm involved in and they will record everything live without an audience and live stream that a bit later. So still you have the red dot and you can be in a theater, but not with a live audience. So that the interaction with the audience is sort of gone, but still you can do a good talk. And you have to be aware, if you are in front of a live audience, that's nice, but you will be recorded, and it's the after watching from the people globally what makes a difference. Otherwise, you have 100 or 500 or 1,000, 1,250 in the room. Then you influence them with your live talk, but it's the recording what gets the millions there. That's the difference. So if COVID will be easier to tackle, I think in 6 months' time there will be live events again, or in the similar style as this university is doing, live recordings and live streaming later.
And just wanted to add to that, Nienke, that when I did my talk, and when you do your TEDx talk, it's usually in a room of 100 people, and then not all TEDx talks actually get uploaded onto YouTube, which I found out as well, because mine wasn't going to be, and then it finally was. So, and then as you were saying, I think the credibility gets built up on YouTube, and how you then promote it out, who watches it, what the feedback is, etc. So just wanted to add that. You've got two more questions, Nienke.
I just want to go in there, and then I go to the questions, because most events, you said, are 100, but most events are a bit larger. So there are licenses for different amount of people in the room, and online it is completely tweaked. So we'll just have to see how things will go, and just to see how far in advance do the events book their speakers. It really is depending on who is organizing it. For a speaker coach like me, it's just headaches if they do it very short. So for example, we have only a month to prep the speakers for the event in February. That's hell. Because you need to really craft your talk and integrate it. So if you have 3 months, that's ideal. And the larger events I work with, we had about 4 to 6 months in advance. And that's very common for high level event organizers. I know, for example, TEDx Amsterdam Women is already searching for December next year. So be aware of that.
Also, another question was, do you have to, from Barbara, was do you, is there a cost to apply to be a TEDx speaker?
No, TEDx is completely non-profit. So you don't get paid. You have often to pay your own travel costs, even if you fly around the globe. They don't cover anything. And you don't have to pay. The only ones who are paying are the participants and the sponsors.
Yeah, I had to pay for my own flights and accommodation when I went to Novo Mesto in Slovenia to do my talk. So, I mean, I got treated to lunch by the team, which was very nice. But
the rest you have to pay.
Cover your own costs. Yeah. Great. So I just want to move on, because I really want 3 people to get a chance to really work on their idea with Nienke, because it is so amazing to watch just thoughts in your head turn into a brilliant idea and a brilliant pitch. So I just want to take sharing for one more person. Like, what stops you? Just take a quick, brief share. What is it that stops you? Or if it's already been, it might already have been answered.
Oh, sorry, can I speak?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because the topic I think is so important there has already been a TEDx about.
Yeah, but not you.
No, it's true.
So, you know, when I see the hundreds of application forms coming in, I think about 1/3 of how do you overcome my burnout? Or how do I get the most out of my life or someone else's life? That's the majority. That doesn't mean you can't be unique, because you have to make the idea worth spreading. What's your idea? And the only thing what's often blocking is your ID. So your identity. And it doesn't have to be a problem, because if you had something, if you look, for example, about stroke, I'm very much into stroke recovery at the moment. I think there are about 15, and they're all unique. And you can see, okay, that's someone who had a stroke and who overcame whatever. Yeah, that's right. And they're all unique. So Sandra, there's hope.
Thank you. It's true.
All right.
Great. So, so now that I'm sure the rest of you also have in your mind, like what stops you, right? So I want you to now, the next step is like, imagine all of that stops you is just not there, right? It's not there anymore. So what's it like? What is it actually like for you, or what would it be like to stand on that stage and share your idea, being unique, being authentic, like saying what there is that you want to say? What is it like for you? I'd like to take a couple of people.
I think we can even take it a bit further to make it more unique. Go to the moment when you say your last sentence and you get the applause. Go there.
So, yeah, I'm in tears. I'm crying, and I'm just like blown away that it's landed and people are applauding. Probably relief as well. Like, yeah, I didn't pee my pants or anything like that. Embarrassing.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. One more. How does it feel?
Shocked.
Shocked that you did it.
Yeah. Shocked that the response that I received, I think, having, an audience applauding your idea and taking it on board, I think, and to actually help them, because that's the whole idea, to use your, share your skills, your knowledge, your techniques, and to help empower others. I think, yeah, that would probably shock me to say I'm actually making a difference to somebody else's life. So yeah, and like the lady before said, emotional, probably holding back the tears, excited. But yeah,
most of them I can say they cry. They cry when they're backstage.
also like holding back the tears.
I was relieved.
Yeah.
I was like, I've done it. I'm coming off. I'll pick up my sweater and I'll put it off. And then I was relieved, and I have the video that I did for a Facebook Live where I shared like it's done, what it was like, and there was so much joy, but I was relieved.
Yeah,
I didn't cry. It was just like, well done.
Well, I have people crying, I have people sweating, I have people jumping, but then that you can hear that even if you're backstage. And but usually we have one coach backstage and one coach in the room. Usually I'm the one in the room saying.
We have
and then we have another coach backstage who just sort of pushes on and embrace afterwards.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's what we do. Yeah.
High-fiving, who's also
celebrating.
She would feel excited, joyful, and it would be affirming for her.
Yeah, for sure.
So, guys, now so you all have an idea, right? And you all have just gone through the experience of like what it's going to feel at the end of your talk on stage. You've all shared your idea, you've done your talk, you're feeling excited, joyful, affirming, or crying your eyes out, or screaming in the back and hugging people, or whatever, right? You've done it. Now, what if you didn't do it? What if you have this idea and it can make a difference to so many people, and you just didn't do it? Nienka, what is it like when people keep an idea to themselves that can save the world?
Well, I would say it's quite selfish. If you let your fears blocking you and you have just great idea what others can really benefit from. So I say it's Dutch direct. I find it quite selfish. If you say it's steep, just keep it to yourself or share just with your friends. If it's really make, don't keep it to yourself. Find the right people around you, find the right team around you, and get on that stage, because we all can do it. Is it the right moment that I share about Hanneke for Shali?
I think we were going to do, yeah, okay.
Yeah, just briefly.
Yes, no.
I work with a lovely girl, and she did her application, and I did another selection. And she was a young girl. I think she was in her early 20s, a bit of gothic, all wearing black. And I had everybody standing up for 30 seconds, introducing themselves and just saying what the topic would be on the TED stage. And she was in a 3/4 round, and she stood up and she just pulled her hair like this. And she said, I'm Hanneke. And I want to do a TED talk because I'm afraid of everything. I thought, oh my goodness, that's guts, because the audience will be 1,000. So what do you do? Well, if you are that far and you have your application form in and you're there and you're already in the kickoff mode with me, you need guts. So in the break, the organizer whispered in my ear, did she say she's designing her own shoes? I said, no, she didn't. So I walked up to her when they had to do a little exercise during the break. And I said, hi, how are you doing? You're writing, and just hiding. My goodness, there's the coach coming. And she was very shy. I asked her, I heard from a very reliable source that you're designing your own shoes. Yes, but I'm not allowed to do marketing. I can't do anything. So yeah, but you can say that you design your own shoes. I have only one question for you. One question. If you're wearing your own designed shoes, are you still afraid? No, she said. Okay. I thought that's the topic. So you can find her TED Talk. Step into your power shoes. We will post it in the Facebook group. Step into your power shoes. Why introverts flower? And she shares very authentic that she was very happy that she was on the stage authentically and having all the red dots in her neck. And she was very happy for the right makeup, but because she was still nervous. And she said that in the talk. So step into your power shoes was a very good example to get over and not be selfish, because she wanted to inspire introverts to speak. Well, why not start in front of 1,000? For Shali.
Great, thanks, Nienka. So the next thing we were going to look at was what makes an idea worth spreading. And we had a video to show you. But I'm just thinking we have about half an hour, and what I think would be the best use of our time, and I can send you the video, is actually for you to now look at how do I get my idea out there? So what makes an idea worth spreading? I'll send you the video after this talk, and Nienka's also going to show that by working with you on your own idea.
Yeah.
So who's got an idea, or who would like to be coached by Nienka? And I'm going to time this. We're going to have about eight minutes per person. We're going to work with maybe 2 or 3 people. Who's got an idea? Who would like to put that forward to Nienka to craft it into some sort of pitch?
I would.
I see you're in 3
Okay,
people.
go for it, Falguni, and then Barbara would be next.
Yeah. All right. So I have a process. It's very fast. Who's first? Ms. Patel? Who is doing?
Falguni, yep, sorry.
Okay, Vagoni. Okay. If you know that there are always 4 different kinds of people in an audience who you need to calm their brain, you have people who want to know, why is the topic important for them? Then you need facts and figures just to really prove experience. How do I do this? So you need practical examples, a bit of storytelling. And the last group is what if. It's all about giving them a future perspective, what your idea can be for them. Because then you share from your own experience, but you need to engage them. So what's in it for them, for the future perspective? So let's go. Let's go, my dear. What is the topic you want to talk about?
Providing parents with techniques to become the influencer in their children's life.
Okay. So I would ask you to really get to you, because this is a very general topic.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know you, like Cor said, the authentic part. So what is breaking your heart?
That children are drifting away from that relationship with their parents. And I think, I've grown up where my parents were always working, they were busy providing a living. Yes, they wanted the best for me, and all parents do, and the whole education side of things quite a priority for most parents, but they were never there in my life.
Okay,
so where everybody else was my influence, they weren't. So during my teenage years or in my early 20s, they weren't the influence in my life.
Okay. And how would it be for you if they were?
I think that bond would have been much stronger.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm very good. So I need very small snippets, and then I can help you. So I will interrupt you a bit sometimes. Okay. Do you have any facts and figures about the gap between an influence through parents and the desire?
I mean, the parents that I work with, I know that every single parent has said to me, my children don't listen to me. Miss Patel, can you say something to them?
Okay, get it. And how would you do it to make the difference? What's the practice you want to give? Because the idea is one thing, but make it practical. What would you give?
I think it's communication and really listening to what the children have to say. I think.
How do you do that? Just make it less theoretical. What do you do?
Ask questions.
Like?
Find out, how was your day? What's your best friend doing today? I even know my students' best friends' pets' names. That's how well I know my students. And
is it a real interest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, forming connection.
Okay. And how would it be if all parents show real interest to their children?
I think, because I've also worked with children who've been expelled from school, I think we can bring that generation back and close the gap where students and parents don't connect anymore, and where they're going off track and into sort of other activities and being expelled from school and being influenced into gangs, etc.
Good, I get it. I get it. So how about title for your talk? I'm going to give you a show and tell how it could be. It is recorded. Don't ask me later what you said exactly, because I will speak from flow. Yeah. Title for your talk could be why parents should listen to their children to get a real bond. Okay, title. What I speak from the I, like I'm you, yeah? I experience as a teacher in my daily life, there's a huge gap growing between parents and children. I speak to children saying, my mom and dad don't understand me. You, Miss Patel, understand me. And then I speak to the parents and they say, my child won't listen to me. Do you really know your child? Because I can see, sometimes you have to work and it's not always easy to make a whole complete life with working and children. Life is demanding on us. It's really demanding. And we see it globally. Parents are expected just to work to earn income and raise their children well. But what we see is if the children aren't really connected with the parents, it's way more likely that they slip up and even end in gangs. So what I do as a teacher is show real interest. When was the last time you asked your kid, how was your day, with full attention? How is your friend's pet? Do you even know the name of their friend's pet? Real interest can make the difference. So what I would say to you as an audience, you can start to make a difference today by start communicating with full presence with your children. So I won't be the only one they speak to. They have their parents back. And you, my dear parents, will get your child back and have a real great bond again. That talk?
That was brilliant.
Okay, it's recorded. What I do is the structure, why, what, how, what, if, and nothing less. I listen to you, I pick it out, and move on. So, yeah?
Fantastic.
Let's make it wider for you, more. This is the basic, if you want to. Just keep that in mind. Yeah?
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful, my dear. Who's next?
Fantastic, and that was 8 minutes on the dot. So Barbara is next.
Barbara.
Okay. First, are there topics that are not allowed?
Yeah, politics, hate, sexism, violence.
Oh, I'm okay then. Okay.
So I would ask you, what breaks your heart, Barbara?
Oh boy, it's going to be hard. I'm not
No,
scared of
it's
public
me.
speaking, but I'm scared of this. Yeah.
No, it's
What
me.
breaks?
We are having a conversation.
Yeah.
And I get to your heart. So what breaks your heart?
What breaks my heart is that some people have to spend years in emotional pain because they don't know the skills that I'm learning at 58 that could save lives.
Mm-hmm.
That could save. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I have borderline personality disorder, and there's 6 to 7% of the population that has it. 10% of us successfully commit suicide. 75% of us try at least once. And I need these skills to stay alive. And I am realizing through learning these skills that everyone needs them. Everyone can benefit from being the master of their emotions. And I was a teacher, and I could tell you about, I'll call her Kelly. I could tell you about Kelly, what many scars that you can't see her skin anymore. And Kelly has tried to kill herself twice. Once she tried to hang herself and got scared. She did it when her parents were away working, her parents thinking that they gave her everything, her parents who love her very much, but they didn't give her the skills that I now know.
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you use the skills?
So I use them to control my emotions. So for example, one of the skills is called check the facts. So if let's say someone says something to me like, oh, I thought that job would be perfect for you. And then I get very upset because I think, oh, they don't understand me. And blah, 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 blah. By
Your
checking
mind
the
takes
facts,
over.
yeah, by checking the facts, the emotion down, because there's some simple ways to do that. So you can, yeah,
I know.
that's one example.
Good. Shall we give it a shot?
Okay. I knew you would get it. Oh my.
Yeah. I work with many people with borderline too, so don't worry. Do you want to use the word borderline in the title?
I want to use what is borderline because
Yeah.
I want to help erase the stigma around it as well. Because
Yeah.
most
So
psychiatrists
title. Everybody has some borderline syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm at the age of 58 now. And I'm diagnosed with borderline syndrome. And I always thought it was a bad thing. I am stigmatized. But I didn't wait borderline to take over my life until the end. Because the end is very close for people with borderline. Did you know how many people with borderline syndrome successfully take their life, even children? And it breaks my heart because I know. And the first technique I really want to show you, it's not only for people with borderlines, but just fact checking in this audience. How many of you get carried away by their own thoughts? How many of you do check if your ideas are matching the reality of others? That's something to start with. So with my people with borderline I work with, I learn them to do fact checking. And that should be for everyone. So by this talk, I want to save lives. I want to know that everybody can reach out to someone else and save a life by fact checking and just listening for what's really going on. Because every emotion can be fact checked. And by that, calm down. So even now in pandemic times, when a lot of minds are running around, do some fact checking. And you don't need to have borderline for that. And I just want to be there for you too.
Right. Thank you.
Well, something like that. It's not completely there, but it could be a basic.
Yeah.
Yeah? Happy?
Yep. Yep.
Do you feel the flow? Do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah. Yep.
Good. Okay. Who's next? I love this. You know that.
Can I think Selena is next. She's got a
Yeah,
palm up.
please. Yeah.
But I
Thanks.
just have to say, before you start, Mark has said, Barbara, you have to give your talk and you're the perfect person to give it.
I agree.
Thank you.
And yeah, we all agree. Eugenia has to go. Sandra has a question. What is the length of a TEDx?
The what? What is
the length of a TEDx talk?
Everything between 2 and 18 minutes. And don't think you have to do the 18 minutes because they're way less watched than the 6 minutes. So when I train people, I usually aim for 10 to 12 minutes. And I have a script for a 10-minute TEDx talk. Because what I do is, in the process, what I did now with Ms. Patel and Barbara is really getting into the frame, just fill in all the why, what, how, and what ifs in a structure. If you have 10 minutes talks, you have 80 sentences, because 8 sentences in Word is a minute. And it doesn't contain and, but, etc. It's just one sentence, 15 words or less. 80 sentences. That's it. And then if we really are there to the core, that's what we did with Vishali as well, really to the core, then you learn it by heart. And then all the people say, oh, I'm authentic. I don't want to learn by heart because then it's not really real. And it looks scripted. Yes, no. If you go over time, you will be taken off stage. Then I've seen it happen. Thank you very much. What's your final sentence? You're off stage. That's the last thing you want. I don't want to bring any fear to you. So that's why I want you to script the whole thing and just learn it by heart. Drill, 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 drill from the script, and then tore the whole thing apart, throw it away, and know it. Be the talk. Because then you're not scripted any longer.
And Nienke, you have 5 minutes to work with Selena.
Okay, there we go.
Llewellyn, sorry.
Yeah, Selena is fine, Vishali. So yeah, some people know me.
So what breaks your heart?
Well, breaks my heart is family not speaking following breakdown in relationships. So either divorce or anything might happen in a family specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why does it break your heart?
It breaks my heart because I've been through that process, and it's excruciatingly painful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And were you a victim of a divorce or something, or did a divorce or something happen to you?
I went through a divorce. Yeah.
Well, welcome in the club. What happens? What are the side effects? What are the side effects of that?
Yeah, so I'm just going to jump in because because this is the thing, right? I'm not sure if this is the right topic or not, because I trained myself to be a therapist and an equine assisted psychotherapist. Mm-hmm. And I've got sort of a solution for bringing families together creatively.
Okay. What is it?
It's equine assisted, so it's horse therapy.
Okay. Perfect. What will happen if more people do that?
What would happen?
What would life look like?
Well, what would life look like is that people would be able to tolerate being with each other authentically, and actually just be with the emotion without not too different to exactly what Barbara was talking about. Okay. You know, be with the facts and
I get it. Okay, shall we give it a shot?
Yeah.
Why horses can prevent divorces?
Love it. Love it.
Now, I love horses, and I'm divorced. And I just wished that I could have known earlier that the horses could prevent my divorce. Because what happens in so many cases, 1 out of 3 marriages will break down. And just can you imagine the side effects emotionally with other families, with children? It's a huge impact on many. But what a horse can bring different is so beautiful, because if you bring a horse in, the horse will mirror you. The horse will tell you what's going on. And the horse doesn't need words, because the body speaks so loud, I can hardly hear a word you say. That's what the horse will receive. And the horse will mirror you in a way that communication breaks open. And things are going to be said, what has been withholding. Because the horse is honest. And I'm not saying people are dishonest, but they forgot how to speak up to each other. And the horse is the bridge. So I know from my practice that horses can prevent divorces. And if we only could learn just from the mirror of the horse, not from fear, but from love. Do you know how wide the chest of a horse is? And how big the heart? You can feel it. And that's what I would love for you to restore in your families too. So you have a horse's heart, communication without hard words, just by being there for one another. So we can save the pain, the hassle, and the fight, what divorces will cause. So go to the horse.
Oh my God.
TED Talk.
That was amazing. I can't believe you just did that. Wow. That is just outstanding.
I love this. You can see.
Oh, I could feel it. Oh my God. I was like, what did you just say? Oh, beautiful.
Well, the only thing is, let's do some fact checking. Did what I say, was it right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Everything
Okay.
you said is exactly that. It's the mirror, it's the heart, it's the authenticity, it's being, yeah, it's everything you
Okay.
described.
Okay. And it was on time.
Yes, it
5
was.
minutes.
It was on time.
5 minutes, I promise.
Oh my goodness. Wonderful.
But you know, I can do it with all of you guys, and then we do it in a longer process, but no longer than 20 minutes. And then when we have to draft, I can promise you, no matter what your topic is, I would just drill you through the sentences and just get the authentic you out.
Magic.
Yeah.
Magic. Thank you.
Well, fun. Really fun. Fashali, over to you.
Great. So we're now looking at, now that you know that your idea is already inside of you, right? So you have something that you're deeply passionate about, that you're deeply connected to. So the idea is already within you. And as you've just seen with Nyanka, that like one thought, that thing that you're like passionate about or that troubles you can be your idea, can be your contribution that makes a difference to the world, right? And Nyanka also shared before, it's quite selfish to keep that contribution to yourself, right? There's people out there that could get something from listening to how you think and how you deal with things. Sorry, I live by the train station, so you might hear the train go by as well. Apologies for that. So now what next? What do we do from here?
Yeah.
So
shall I share a bit about that?
Yes,
shall I just see? Yeah. Fashali and I have been in conversation because there are so many people who want to give a TED Talk, and we don't want to do a slicky sales. We are allergic. Do you know allergy for slicky sales? And at the same time, it would be selfish if we have our experience not to at least give you an offer to work with us, and just see what we can do. Normally, I start with the 250 euros per hour. And if I do something for an idea worth spreading, I don't charge that. So I would love to work with really committed people, and Fashali does too. So if you are willing to really get out of your procrastination time, hesitation, your doubts, if the topics are really worth sharing, we can help you with that. So we pulled off a package of a 4-week where you get pitch ready with your application form, with all the things you need to know, what will just get you to, well, probably a TED stage in the best preparation you can imagine. And you had already a bit of a taster here in 5 minutes. Can you imagine what will happen in 4 weeks? So what did you pull off, Vashali? Because we put something on visual just to
Right.
share.
Okay. So we start off with, as Nienke said, there is a 4-week pitch ready course. There's also a TEDx Ready program that we've put together. And just to figure out if it's for you, this is like if you're really serious about giving a TEDx talk, and if you really understand, like you might not want to give a TEDx talk, but you really want to communicate like a TEDx speaker. So then this would really be for you. And if you're willing to do whatever it takes and invest the resources to make it happen, like we said, you pay for your flights, you pay for your accommodation or your travel costs. When we say willing to do what it takes, when I was pitching my TEDx talk, actually I got the talk, but when I was going through the idea with the event organizer, I was told no, because they didn't have enough English speaking people on their team to coach me. And that night I was really relieved that I didn't have to do the talk, because I was like, thank God I don't have to do it. I don't have to deal with all my sort of imposter syndrome or, you know, fear of being on that stage, or, you know, being vulnerable and telling my story on stage. But the next morning I woke up and it was like, no, I'm actually selling out on my idea by doing that. And that doesn't work for me. So I called Nienke and she said, that's fine. You tell them I'm going to coach you. And then the lady that I spoke to as well, initially, she said, I'm going to jump on the calls and I'll translate. And so I went back to Taya and I said, well, these 2 people are going to support me. Can I have my slot back? And she said, okay, yes, like there was nothing else she could say, right? So you've got to be willing to do whatever it takes for your idea. Really, like if it means that much, if you're that passionate about, go for it, you know? And if you have a strong why, like I hear a lot of you on this call do.
Then you just need to do it, because
right.
Vashali is frozen.
Exactly. Oh, sorry.
We just promised to make a team work. So we want to take you to make you ready. Vashali, you're freezing a bit, so I was taking over.
That's okay. So that's fine. We're on.
Now you're back.
Okay, great. Thank you for being with me, freezing. So yeah, so you saw what you need, who the program's for. What is the program? So the online program is a combination of all people working together on their pitch and their talk. So there's 2 aspects to this. And you'll get feedback from expert speaking leaders like Nienke and her team, myself, other attendees that will come on.
And we do practice, 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 practice.
And then you'll videotape your talk. You'll share it in the private TEDx Speaker Program Facebook group to get feedback. And you can also ask questions in the group of
feedback.
I'm not sure if I'm freezing or not, but
you can see it all on the slides.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
okay.
You were just jump up and down, but people can read this as he has to. And that's Corey. I like your shoes. Yeah, it's TEDx shoes. Step into your TEDx shoes, Corey. Yeah, we get it.
So what's covered on the program? You can see this down here. It's everything from crafting your idea, which you saw Nienke do now, turning it into a pitch. Who's your audience? You've got to like create your pitch for your audience, not just because you want to share it. It's got to be tailored to the audience. You'll get feedback on your talk outline. You'll get to design and flesh out your talk. You'll get to decide whether you're going to use slides or not. And then how do we design the slides? Learn how to create the connection with your audience. You know, you'll get coached on your stage presence, your delivery. Not all of you need that, but you know, it's part of the program. And you'll again practice, feedback, repeat. So all of that's covered. Why should you do it? Well, if you want to create your TEDx talk, it's great. You want to hone in your speaking skills. Maybe it's not for TEDx. Maybe it's for a masterclass. Maybe it's for a presentation. Maybe it's for a different type of speaking opportunity. You may want to overcome your fear of public speaking. This is a great way to do that. Also,
like Hanneke.
Yeah. And you just want to give a great talk. You don't want to get onto the stage and give a crap talk. You want to give a great talk. So that's another reason. So as Nienke said, we've got like 3 programs that really support you. And what we can guarantee from all of these programs is that you'll be TEDx ready. That's what we can guarantee you. So the first one is the speaker program, which I've taken you through. The pilot price, as Nienke said, we've just put this together. We just want to make a difference, is $997. The TEDx Pitch Ready. So this is more for people who just want support in putting their pitch together to go and pitch to a TEDx organizer to see if they'll get onto the speakers list. So here you'll get coached on taking your idea, turning it into a pitch over 4 weeks, 1 class a week in a group format. It'll be online. You'll get a written and video pitch at the end of it, and you'll get to practice with us like mad, right? So our pilot price.
And also your application form is here covered. So with all the tips and tricks to get the attention of the TEDx organizer. So all the things are there, application form, your written format of your basic TED Talk and video pitch in 4 weeks.
Yeah, fantastic. And we'll support you in how to find, how to do, as Nienke said, how to do your application, but also how to like go about approaching TEDx organizers as well. So that whole process we will support you on during the Pitch Ready program. And that until the 1st of January, we are offering that at £297. After that, it goes up to £497. And then the TEDx Speaker Speaker Ready course is a 6 to 8 week online course. This is more for where you've got your pitch, you've pitched, you've guaranteed your space on the TEDx event, or it could be just an event that you want to prepare a talk for and get ready for. And this will help you to design and build your talk. In 4 will help you work on your stage presence, your voice, your body language. This is an online program, and our pilot price is £947. So these are the 3 programs we have. If you have any questions, please ask now. Nienke, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, because we are way more in an online environment at the moment. I developed with my team online presentation skills as well, so we will cover that too. So you're online as prepared as just for a live audience in a theater or something. So it's covered both, because we can't guarantee for a while that you have a full theater full. So you need to be online as powerful as you are in for a live audience. So that's covered too, just to add that on.
Great. And I'm going to put the link in the chat box for anyone that wants to register for the Pitch Ready or the Speaker Ready. If you want to do the speaker program, then just message me directly. We don't have that up here just yet. But for the other 2, we do have that up on the page. So I'll drop a note. I'll drop that into the chat box now.
The Pitch Ready, Barbara, is in a group indeed. With a group maximum of 10. So any more questions or any feedback for us? Who is up for a TED Talk in 2021? Just no matter if you work with us or not. I just want to see hands. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Who needs your help? And if you want to do it in the really fast program, not every TEDx event will provide you with a speaker coach. So it's really worth just getting everything there. What keeps you waiting so far? Yeah. Any questions?
Oh, yeah, I had a question. I was just curious that so Vishali, I got that, you know, that you about to leave the program, you know, not to complete it, and then you got, you know, is it Nienke?
Nienke.
Ninka.
Yeah.
And obviously you got set up and everything. And I'm just curious if by taking, because I'm just looking at the financial side of it right now, and I'm just thinking that, I wouldn't be in the best place to take the highest program, but the smallest one is a potential for me right now. And I was just curious, once you've transitioned, you've got a pitch together, do they then help you with the coach afterwards?
Sometimes.
And how what's the criteria then
For being coached? Or well, they want the best value at their stages, but sometimes they don't work together with the speaker coach, and then you have to figure it out yourself. So most events get wise and they do something with the speaker coach, but it's not always a guarantee to get you at the level. And it's not a protected title, speaker coach, so everybody can say that's a speaker coach. Many people who did a TED talk once consider themselves a speaker coach. So you're not guaranteed who you get. So I can't tell. And there are hundreds and hundreds of events globally. So it's wise to look at the previous events to see the standard before you pick.
Also, I didn't have a speaker coach when a speaker coach wasn't provided to me when I did my TEDx talk at Novo Mesto. I was working with the organizer. Oh, sorry. Let me stop my video. Is this better?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So when I did my talk, once I got onto the team, I wasn't provided a speaker coach. That's why I worked with Nyanka. I had the event organizer. I went through my talk with the event organizer, who would say to me, can you go off and create 2 themes from that talk? And then I would go off and think, okay, how do I create 2 themes? And then I'd speak to Nyanka and go, right, I've got to create 2 themes. And then we would explore the idea. And I would then explore 2 themes. And I went back to the organizer and presented both my themes. And then she said, okay, I'm going to go for the one about trauma. So then I went away and then built out my talk and the outline with Nyanka on that, and then went back to them. And then they said, oh, okay, I like that. Can you add in your experience? So then I added in my experience, went back to them. And then they said, oh, okay, you could do that without using slides. Or, okay, now I want you to come back and memorize it. So that's as much direction or contribution, like coaching, I got from the organizers.
And that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot, I can say. Some organizers just say, okay, just do it.
Yeah.
And then you have no guarantee to be really ready. Or you get 1 or 2 sessions with just feedback. And you have to figure it out yourself. That's why we care so much, to get people really comfortable, authentically ready. With fun, the fun we had today. That's what I like.
And so my point of just saying that was that, like, if it wasn't for Nyanka during that process, it would have been challenging for me with that level of guidance. So having been able to turn to Nyanka to fill in and guide me with my talk in that process was brilliant. And then on the actual day itself, they had in the rehearsals, they had a speaker coach there, which was something very new for them. They never do that, they said. So they had someone there to help with like on stage presence, but like they said, it was something very new for them. So it is hit and miss. I know people that have pitched and got a talk and they've literally had to go there with a prepared talk, a prepared pitch as well. So it just depends what the organizer that you're going to is willing to provide.
Yeah, you will see.
Okay,
this is coffee on 90 minutes. Any other quick questions?
Can I just say that was
perfect?
Really helpful.
Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Anyone else for a quick question? No.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. everyone for coming to the masterclass. Thank you for being with us, being a little late. We've gone over, and thank you for being with my bad connection and the change in Zoom link and all of those things. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for, being really vulnerable today, like almost, Barbara, Celine, Llewellyn, Falguni, everyone that shared. Sandra, your talks, your ideas have been amazing. And thank you so much, Nienka, for working your magic on everyone's ideas, like really opening them up and showing them that they can do it and it's inside of them.
I love it.
That's it.
And I think more people are getting their books out, and it's always a good idea. You're never allowed to promote your book directly, so you have to craft your talk and create a magic around it. But just keep up speaking. And Vashali created a Facebook group so we can follow each other's tracks. And what Vashali and I like best is somewhere around this time, or maybe the first week of January 2022, celebrate many TED Talks and publish them on my Presentation Master website to get more traffic. So there you are. Off we go. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much, Vaishali and Nienka.
Thank you for showing up.
Thank you.
Hope to see you all soon.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye.